Evening, freaks, you wild band of questers for the Cauldron of Dagda. I am really looking forward to dropping in with all of you and getting the portal report for what's going on in our enchanted wood as we head toward the grand prize, the third jewel, in the arsenal of the Tuatha De Danann. Let's not forget that the Tuatha De Danann are warriors. And we did have an interloper in the wood last night, somebody who is trespassing, somebody who has been warned and warded against, a white witch. So they say. There's a striking resemblance to Glinda. All sugar and spice and everything nice, but she's got a suspect device. Sensual spirits were loose in the woods last night. The satyrs and nymphs were acting up. We learned what it means to partake of the datura, also known as the devil's apple. Temptation running high. The temptation came in, and then here comes good old Glinda. Let's just call her Glinda. That's what the energy reminds me of. I know, hot topic, hot pocket magic when I encounter it. The designs are to bind. To bind and to block. This is somebody who wants to fuck around and find out, and they definitely will, because our band of warriors is not going to allow this energy to trespass. I shuffled this deck. This is the card that landed on the top, Discover, Learn, and Play. We're about to discover and learn who is fucking around and wanting to find out, and that's going to inform our play for moving forward, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the cast of characters on the board. We're going to scope out what the general vibe is, you know? What are we up against here? You know, what are we dealing with? I hope you're definitely really in your fairy mode. I hope you're in touch with your soul purpose, the role you're here to play on this quest. I'm definitely in touch. I'm definitely in steeped fairy mode, okay? And I'm going to be building this energy. We're really going to get things on and popping with this quest next week. What I'm doing right now is I'm reading the room. What I'm doing right now is getting a lay of the land. What I'm doing right now is like seeing what way the weather is blowing, which way is the wind blowing. There's storming here, okay, which is good. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for the rains. That's a very good sign. I knew that when the rains started to come, that's when the healing would come. This is because there's a couple totem energies that I've had to do some rescue for. One of those is Big Blue. Yes, the Big Blue. The Big Blue. Big Blue was needing some support, was waiting for the rains. The rains finally came. Another rain that I've been waiting for to cleanse was, well, we already got one that came in that cleansed out Black Rock City. Sorry, not sorry. I think that time's up for trampling on native land and disrespecting the customs, disrespecting the traditions. You know, when we're strangers in a strange land, we have to respect the ground we're treading upon, you know. Otherwise, we can meet with some unsavory characters. It's just the lay of the land is the way things work. It's becoming very clear that Earth is rebelling, you know, fairies front and center with that. When the old ways are not respected, that's when the old ones awaken. This energy, very front and center. We've seen this, you know. We've seen Shamu, man, taking down the yachts. And I'm here for it. I'm all about it, you know. I'm all about that rebellion, that rising up for the forces in the world that haven't forgotten their roots, that haven't forgotten why they're here, that still remember who they are. Those of us who are here to awaken those who are asleep. And along the way, there's going to be people that want to block this. There's going to be characters in play that want to block this energy. There's always forces of darkness where there's forces of light, and sometimes there's shades of gray. Sometimes you have to be a little bit of both to be on the right side of things. Isn't that interesting? But that's the way it is in fairy. What's upside down is right side up and vice versa. But we know we got somebody who's upside down on the scene. I felt it. The energy feels grabby. The energy feels grabby. It feels like octopus energy. It feels like squid energy. It's got that vibe. It's got this desire to cling. It's got this desire to pull down. It's got this desire to drown. To drown. I get like drown in confusion, drown in sorrow. I don't think this energy stands a chance. The pulse I pick up on it is it's too desperate. It's too desperate. It knows that it's like doesn't really have its footing anymore. It knows that it's you know, you sunk my battleship. That's the vibe it's got. So we're just gonna get some shuffles in, okay? I had Miss Jenna send me some awesome pictures of some magics that they want added to the Cauldron of Dagda. I totally encourage you to send pictures of your magics if you want them contributed. We are going to do some spell work too, all right? That's something that we'll be bringing in naturally, okay? I'll be bringing that in next week. I'm waiting on the memo for FAIRIE, okay? I don't set the rules of engagement for any of this. I'm totally letting Danu and my ancestors, the Tuatha De Danann, the Gales, and of course, you know, Dagda and all of FAIRIE guide me. And for me, when it comes to FAIRIE, I am informed by both teams. Really, both teams are the same team, but I do get informed by the dark side of FAIRIE, which I'm sure is why Datura came in. F-A-I-R-I-E. Okay, that's how I was introduced to FAIRIE. I got tricked, I got bamboozled, I got swindled into the dark side of FAIRIE. And at a time in my life when I was going through something really heavy, which is the way it always is, you know. But they ended up really just having a fondness for me and I for them. And I passed their tests and I had the heart. So they're really sweet to me. They are very loving towards me and we have a lot of fun together, right? But I'm being challenged now to kind of cultivate more of the light side of FAIRIE, F-A-I-R-I-E, spelling matters of FAIRIE. And what I'm coming to find is that FAIRIE, F-A-I-R-I-E, the light side of FAIRIE is every bit as much as spicy and mischievous and playful and got an edge, really, as the shadow side of FAIRIE. It's just where shadow side is very like upfront about it, very direct about it. The energy that comes in with that sharper edge of FAIRIE, with F-A-I-R-I-E FAIRIE, the light side, it's more like sarcastic. It's more like bringing it in with so much sweetness that it's almost like, it's almost a mockery of itself, okay? It made me think of sweet tea, which is another good fairy, a good fairy who knows F-A-E-R-I-E very well, good friend of mine. And sweet tea works with this particular brand of magic. And sweet tea is every bit as much of the light as anyone. Which is totally a fairy answer, okay? It's totally a fairy answer, a fairy explanation. But also knows the shadow well. You know, most people who come to this path are acquainted with the shadow. We discover magic in our times of loss. We discover magic when we've completely given up hope. We discover magic when we are lost in the dark wood and don't know how to find the way out. That's when that real instinctual part of us wakes up, bottom of the deck energy. Yeah, look at this, 8 of spades in the shadow. That's when we come to FAIRIE. And look, we got the hidden right after this. And the hidden is in reverse, which means the secrets that normally are kept in the shadow, the secrets that set us free from this false sense of being stuck, of being trapped, they're being revealed. Now, what I'm picking up specifically, because of this energy I felt poking around, and this energy, when it came in as 3 chords that wanted to tap into my heart center and wanted to do this weaving between 3 energies, like binding them together. It felt very restrictive. This feels like one person that's against a trio of people. This trio of people is mixed gendered. Okay, when I say that, I'm saying that there are feminine energies and masculine energies, and there is some outside energy. It feels like a feminine energy that's wanting to do some kind of binding, some type of control work. It directly relates to something having to do with the heart, some expression of the heart, some fulfillment of the heart, something that is trying to be blocked in this situation, either that or they're trying to insert themselves into this situation to be unified with these three parties. Okay, binding work. This is what was hidden, but it's being revealed. Okay, this is what's going to happen. For those of you on occult paths, as we go into this realm of fairy, as we call up this space, I'm going to get messages. I'm going to be feeling out like what's been going on in your life on that level. So these reads are specifically focusing on surreality. Okay, it's other dimensional perspective. It's not operating in normal, mundane time. We're in dream time. All right, these are journeying reads, and they come through as such. We're working with archetypal imagery. We're working with more abstract concepts. We're looking through different reality tunnels, right? So this is a psychic play space, you could say. It's also a psychological play space, and it's for really dropping belief constructs, moving into expanded states of consciousness. And everything that I bring through, even though it may sound very fantastical, it's absolutely true. Okay, so this energy is in play. Somebody out here is wanting to do binding work. This is something that's been hidden, but this is something that's going to start to become readily apparent as this individual begins to clamor for control. That's what I got, okay? I think some of you may have already been kind of feeling this energy. Maybe you felt really stuck. You haven't been able to move forward. You're wondering, like, what's holding me back? I don't understand. Or just when I feel like I've got things figured out and I'm about to take a move forward, I'm about to strike out, I'm about to use my spear of Lu to really make something happen, to actually impregnate my future, which is what happens when we go into that great right energy, which is part of what was coming in last night. I could feel it. I could feel it. I could feel it, like just starting to introduce itself, this very sensual, seductive, like, come hither. It's got a little bit of coquettishness to it, but there's more depth to this energy. Okay, there's more depth to this energy. I've encountered a more playful aspect of this energy before, the more childlike aspect of this energy before. Nimue, it's got Nimue vibes to me. Okay, but it's the more grown side of Nimue. We're not dealing with maiden Nimue, okay? We're dealing with, I'd say, almost like verging into crone Nimue energy, okay? It's a little different. It's a little seductive. It's a little alluring. It's very Datura. I don't know if you started to kind of tap into the energies of the plants that I brought in, the plant allies. These energies will be building, okay? We're just getting started. So you might have started to just notice a different kind of vibe coming in last night. If you were up at that time, or maybe you had interesting dreams last night, you probably noticed this almost serpentine, kind of real sinewy, moving beneath the surface, like just lower, subtle, not lower, okay? That's not, more subterranean is what I want to say, okay? Not lower, still very high frequency energy, but more subterranean. It's like the kind of energy right before there's an earthquake, when the energy is building up in the land right before something wants to erupt. It's got Kundalini vibes to me, to be honest with you. And when we're looking at the great right, that's what we're talking about. Okay, great right is a right of the joining together of the masculine, the feminine forces in the form of the god and the goddess, okay, to impregnate the new world. We see this play out in many different systems of thought, but for our sake, we're looking from Gaelic perspective when we're looking at this particular tradition of fairy, and the aim is to reverse this, okay? We do have, again, there's third-party interference involved in this situation that's trying to create some kind of blockage around birthright, right? To the 9 of diamonds here. There's some destiny that is meant to be received. There is third-party interference with the 3 of Hearts and the 9 of Diamonds showing up in the shadow. This fulfillment, this healing, this spirit of celebration, this moment of arrival that you have been waiting for, your destiny. It's your birthright coming in with the 9 of Diamonds here, but this energy, this interloper is trying to block this. They are trying to bind this from happening. It's interesting because it's almost like the way that they're trying to bind this from happening is by attaching themselves to 2. That's what I feel. It's an outside energy that's wanting to attach themselves to 2, like almost bind themselves to a couple. Okay, that's the message I got, which is very bizarre. Really bizarre. Really, really, really bizarre energy. They're trying to create some kind of blockage, something that will stop this destiny from coming to fruition. That's what I got. But it's impossible because you've already released this. You're already in that place of perfect love, perfect trust. You wouldn't be here if you weren't, okay? Because only those who are entering this space with that intention are even being held within this space, right? So if you're not tapped into this energy, if you're not in this space, you're not going to be picking up when I'm laying down in these reads. It's going to be foreign to you. It's not going to make sense to you. You're going to think I'm wrong, that I'm reading the energy incorrectly. Nope, you're just outside the circle of trust. That's what it's about. This is already safeguarded, okay? Everybody who's within this space that's on this quest for the cauldron of Dagda, your destiny is already assured. You did the work. You're in this place right now where you're being restored in the cauldron. Notice the imagery that starts coming through. Notice Miss Jenna's imagery that she sent. Notice what I put up last night. It's all beauty. It's all beauty. It's all restoration. It's all pouring into. It's all receiving. It's restoring after what has been a real long, hard battle. But we have to be very aware and very mindful that just as we start to head close to our destiny, that's exactly the moment when these interlopers will start to surface. That's when the forces that are against this coming together, this moment of arrival, this moment of triumph, success with the 6 of clubs. This has been delayed. The 6 of clubs in reverse. This has been delayed. This new beginning right here. This Ace of clubs. This has been delayed. You haven't been able to act at this point, okay? These were in reverse. I just turned this deck around, right? This is what's been going on. It's almost like they wanted to make your actions impotent. They didn't want your actions to bear fruit. Whoever is working this energy magically, it's binding work, it's blocking work. And it specifically has to do with making your actions, making your efforts, what you're working hard for, just bear no fruit. Spoil on the vine, okay? The reason why we're in this cauldron of Dagda right now is we need to be restored. We need to heal. We need to open ourselves to receive, and we need to be cleansed and purified of this energy. It's sort of like a return to our original, our original essence before somebody inserted themselves into our storyline and tampered with the plot. Uninvited, all right? Uninvited. This is an uninvited energy. This is an energy that doesn't belong here. Nobody wants this energy here. Nobody wants to deal with this energy. But this energy wants to insert itself. This energy is highly competitive and will do anything to get things to veer in the direction they want. They know that this individual is a soulmate. They know that what is aligned with you is aligned with you. It's your purpose. And they also know that there's a lot of help and a lot of forces on your side that are securing this for you and helping you move away from trouble. You're moving out of troubled waters, but that's exactly when these energies, some would say forces of darkness, they rise up to take their last stand. They're not going to just like yield the field. It doesn't work like that, not with what's in store. And we see that, oh no, they want there to be suffering with the 3 of spades in the shadow. They want there to be pain. They want there to be separation. They want there to be heartache. This is this person. This is a muggle. this is a muggle. This is not an alchemist. This whoever this person is, I think they're working with what they think is magic. I think this is one of those people that you see on Instagram, you know, that brags about, you know, what a badass witch they are. They're one of these witches that's like, I'll hex you and I'll hex you and I'll put you in a jar. This is somebody who's on like a real ego trip. Like they think they know some shit. They learned everything they know about magic out of a Llewellyn book. No insult to people who are published with Llewellyn. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is, if you never actually, you know, directly worked with a teacher, if you've never actually been on any path where you had any kind of guidance or had any kind of true learning, like learning the roots of a tradition or initiation into a specific tradition, or really explored on that level, there's always going to be some gaps in your understanding until you do learn from an elder, until you do face an initiatory gateway. It's just the way it is. That's how you gain access to work with the power. There's certain lessons you have to learn before you even get to the point of being on the threshold of a gateway of initiation. You have to really burn your fingers a few times. You have to get too big for your britches. You have to feel like, oh, you know, I'm that big badass witch. I'm a dark witch. It's very teenage, okay? It's immature. It's like this concept, like, you know, somebody saw Nancy in The Craft and hell yeah, she was hot. She was badass, okay? But we also have to remember where she ended up at the end of that. I'm flying. That's what that kind of work gets you. It always backfires, okay? It always backfires. I'm not about Wicca. I'm not about Wicca. I've never been drawn to Wicca. It's too formal for me. It's too structured. It's too many rules. It reminds me of Catholicism. I'm just not drawn to that. I'm not drawn to pomp and circumstance. I know that I can make magic happen just by focusing my thoughts intently. I can speak to the wind and it'll blow back to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm more like, I just have a different kind of magic I run. It's in my blood. I work the roots, you know, I work the roots, and I'm very tapped into my roots. And I continue to tap in deeper. You know, that's the thing, is you start going down your magical lineage, which you learn from diving into your ancestry. You're going to find that's the water of the deepest well. My well ain't your well, vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of potency there. This is somebody who just thinks that they can kind of like waltz into, you know, fairy. And yeah, they already know everything, you know, and yet this person has zero experience operating on this field of play, which is dangerous with fairy. There's dangers in working with fairy. In fact, I know some people who live across the pond, you know, and I've talked to them. My friend Nutter, one of his nicknames, Mikey Davis. He heard that I'm initiated into fairy, and he just thought that was absolutely bonkers, like totally nuts. Because they know over there. I mean, over there in that part of the world, like fairy is still very alive and well. You know, it's not something fantastical. It's something very real. It's interwoven throughout the culture. And you'll hear all kinds of stories as you travel through Scotland and Ireland and all throughout Europe, really, about plots of land going completely fallow because the fairies weren't respected, you know. They're known to be very fierce energies, and they're very wild, and they're very free, and you do not get to control them. They're either on your side or they're not. That's the way it works with fairy. You're either their people or you're not. And if you're not, they'll make it very clear. Let me tell you how you not get on a fairy's good side. If you have hate in your heart, if you have evil or cruel designs, even with shadow fairy, they will hand you your ass. The most important thing to fairy is love. Love, pure, unconditional love. That's why it's so hard. Look at the blockage. People don't want to hear this. It's the truth. This is why it's so hard to find entry into fairy, because so many people have hatred and malice in their heart, cruelty in their heart, dark designs in their heart. And fairy does not suffer it. Fairy will make you believe that they like you a whole lot. I'm your best friend to the end. Heidi ho! That's fairy. That's dark fairy. They'll make you think that they really just love you. You're so wonderful. Oh, we're friends. We're on each other's team. But if you got cruel designs in your heart, and especially these kind of designs that's coming up in this energy, somebody who's trying to do binding work, somebody who's trying to interfere in destiny, somebody who's trying to interfere in somebody's birthright, somebody who's trying to attach themselves, court themselves into a couple. I wouldn't want to be you. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. And not a lot of people make it into this realm of fairy. It's just facts. It's just facts. The third road is the tradition that I have been initiated into. I've acted in support, in association, you know, in the past with Francesca de Grandis. You know, we did some different stuff together on social media. She came in and she offered support to a group of women who were going through goddess initiation, who were learning about the third road. What I've found typically from people is that they make it to about month 3. It's the 13 moon initiation. By moon 3, they're like, I am out. It's intense. It's intense. So this is a very sacred space that has been called up, and it's a space that carries a lot of need for respect and reverence when you're in the house of fairy. And I trust that the people are here in this space are of that ilk, but there is an interloper, and this energy needs to be looked at because they're trying to cause a loss of this new beginning. And this person, they are just like hunting out the scene, and they're preparing to strike. And when this person prepares to strike, they want to strike brutally, swiftly. They want to cut this off. They are trying to sabotage this 10 of hearts. This is the fulfillment of love. And it looks like there could be a queen of spades that is being blocked in this situation. That is air sign energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius coming up in the light. There could also be a strong fire sign placement. This could be somebody that's air and fire, or you could be a fire sign dominant as well. And that would be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, also in the light. Okay, so this is a feminine figure that is being blocked in this situation. This figure is of the light, okay? So we have air and fire. They probably have strong air, fire placements. There is somebody who wants to come towards this person, okay? They want to take a swift action. They want to give some kind of declaration of love to this individual, all right? There's something about their coming together that brings this beautiful new beginning, but this is what's being blocked. Ace of Pentacles in the shadow. There's been a cast of illusion around this situation. A glamour has been cast around this situation by this interloper, okay? They're trying to create a smoke screen, a web of illusion, all right? This is a lot of glamour that's being cast, and specifically being cast to create a brutal, harsh, horrible ending. This person is not just wanting to block and hold back. They are wanting to cause extreme suffering. I'm sorry. It's the truth. This person is vengeful. And as I'm saying this, the spider outside that has been sitting there for quite some time without building anything new on the web just started to stir. This person is about to start weaving this web. They're actively starting to do this now. This person may be starting to kind of like pick people's brains, have little conversations here and there, send out little text messages, all right? Be on the lookout. They are trying to block this. They're trying to block this. This is 10 of hearts. This is ultimate fulfillment. This is happiness. This is stepping into destiny. This is the fulfillment of the cauldron of Dagda. This is what we're questing for. So when we're on a quest, we know there's challenges to actually obtaining that which we desire. There's going to be challenges. This is the challenge. This is this person's aim. Jack of Diamonds in the shadow. They want to slow this. They want to stall this. This person is buying time. They know that they're outed. They're trying to think of a clever defense tactic with the 9 of clubs in the shadow coming up right behind, because they know they've been caught red-handed. They've already been outed to the 5 of spades in the light. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, okay? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This character could also have a strong air sign placement in their chart. Earth, air, I'm getting, okay? Earth, air. This person's been trying to cause severe loss. They don't want you just to miss out on this opportunity. You must understand this. This person is a nemesis on the real. I know it's all one energy, but sometimes energy gets fragmented. Sometimes energy gets really lost. And whoever this individual is, they are not well. They are not. This person wants there to be outright loss. They will not be satisfied until they see you with absolutely nothing. This person wants you broken. Wants you broken. I don't care what they tell you. You know who this person is. This person wants to break you. That's the truth. That's the truth. And they will use any means necessary to cause this disappointment for you. And you've been here before. You know this. You've already had this happen before. Do 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 do. What was I saying? Do you see that blocking energy? Oh, they're pissed because they know I'm on their tail. This individual is actually quaking in their boots. I'm on the thread of this energy. I tugged on it last night. Oh, you want to come closer? Are you sure? You sure? You sure? This is like a little peon energy on the real, okay? So don't get suckered in by this. This is amateur. This is amateur energy. It's sloppy, it's messy, and it's actually pretty transparent. So if you're being suckered in by this, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're not going to fare too well in these parts if you're being suckered in by this. You need to move away from this energy. All right. Because if you don't move away from this energy, you're going to move forward, and you're going to bring forward with you a bunch of pain and a bunch of suffering. So this is something you need to be very mindful of right now. All right. This person is going to fight at all costs for what they think should be their new beginning. Ace of Clubs in the shadow. And this person might be even using sexuality to tempt, sexuality to, you know, cloud your thinking, cloud your judgment. It's because they're trying to interrupt this. More than anything, they just don't want somebody in this situation to be happy, to be fulfilled. All right. And this is a Queen of Diamonds energy. Okay. This came in before, and they are the one who wants to take this action. Look, there's all this like shadow energy coming in here. This is remember we had the Knight of Spades energy coming up in the shadow. Here's King of Spades energy. Okay, so this could be in relation to a Queen of Diamonds, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We already had this Earth sign energy come in with the Knight of Diamonds. The Jack of Diamonds is equivalent to a Knight kind of energy, which is about wanting to slow everything down. I think this person does come off very friendly. You know, they do come off like they are an ally. Okay, this is a friend. This is frenemy kind of energy. All right. They see that somebody wants to make some kind of motion forward towards someone to make a love offer. They're trying to put an end to this. All right. This person is concerned about security, in particular financial security. And right behind this energy, what comes in is the Six of Clubs in the shadow. Okay, this is the person that wants to win at all costs. I could also see that there's a little foul play going on too, both sides. This is a case about like, be careful. You know, sometimes it's better to let sleeping dogs lie. There could be a masculine in this situation, air sign masculine, specifically somebody with a strong air sign placement, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, who maybe has a strong water sign placement in their chart too. Be possible. Pisces, why did I say Capricorn? Capricorn's earth sign energy. Could be a Capricorn in the mix. Okay, could be somebody with a strong Capricorn placement. That's possible with that Queen of Diamonds. Okay, but I meant to say Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Okay, so this could be somebody with a masculine with strong air and water in their chart. It also could be they are approaching from the realm of emotions toward this Queen of Diamonds, that it was revealed to them that their sole interest was in financial stability, security. That's what I got. And that this person was willing to achieve this by any means necessary with the Six of Clubs. This masculine might have had romantic involvement with this person in the past. This masculine may be like out for revenge on this energy. They might be trying to achieve this by approaching from a very manipulative angle, offering, you know, a new start in love, something along these lines. Woo! And with that, this just flew out of my hands and onto the ground. So yeah, I think somebody is about to be outed. I think I might be outing somebody right now. Okay. This is something to be aware of. This is like a manipulative energy, and this person's wanting to get even because they feel like in some way this Queen of Diamonds energy disrupted their stability, maybe even took from them financially as possible. Yep. This person caused some kind of real anxiety, worry, sleepless nights, troubles. I feel like this individual is wanting to like get revenge on this Queen of Diamonds and disrupt their security. It's a manipulative energy. This isn't the interloper though. The interloper is feminine. I know feminine energy when I feel it. The interloper is feminine. This is somebody who's been affected by the interloper. there's a connection point here, okay? There is a connection point. It'll make sense, okay? This is, yeah, there's something here. This is connected to the energy that tried to create loss in this Two of Hearts. It's in the shadow, okay? This is definitely somebody that this King of Swords, so it could be their ex, okay, that they were involved with. They had a really unhealthy relationship with this person. This person left them in the poorhouse, used them for money, always left them feeling unsatisfied, like they never felt really fulfilled in this connection. It didn't work for them. Might have been because this person cheated a lot. You know, this person might have slept around. This could also be a mistress kind of energy with the Queen of Clubs coming up in the shadow. You know, this is that what I'm talking about. This is that like hot topic, hot pocket. Yep, and we see, here we go, okay? So now we got fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, creating worry, creating stress, creating sleepless nights. This could be control work. This could be binding work. Could have been achieved through sexuality. They could have done some work with, you know, fluids. I have to tell you. There could be like some sex magic involved in this that created this issue, okay? And this is somebody that in the past, this King of Swords, who could have a strong water sign placement because they're coming in as a King of Hearts with the Two of Clubs. This particular ex of theirs, at one point, they saw them as like, no, this is my person. This is who I'm supposed to be with, you know? They saw a future with this person. But this person really ran some game on them. And they saw a whole side of them that said, oh my God. Oh yeah, they saw a whole side of them that said, oh no. This is dead, dead. Look at that. Ace of Spades, double, dead, dead. One in the light, it came to the light that like, oh, whoa, I need to end this like quick. Because what they discovered was so brutal and so harsh and repulsed them. That's what I got. Repulsed them to the core. That they were like, no, we're getting rid of this. And not only that, they want to like, they just want to get one final lick in. That's what I got. It's a dangerous game to play, though, in this situation, all right? Just be aware of this. There's a lot on the line. There's alignment on the line with the Four of Clubs, with a true soul union. That's what I'm picking up here. Woo! And with that, it just flew out of my hands. Be careful, King of Clubs, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You might end up throwing this away inadvertently if you head down this track. Be careful. You're just now in a place where you're about to head into growth and the promise and the fruition of everything you've been wanting to call in for yourself. With the Seven of Diamonds coming up in the light. But if you move like this, if you allow yourself to get suckered in and you start being ruled by your wand again, and you start to go and put it in the wrong cup, we're going to end up with a gross cup situation again. And then there's going to be sexually transmitted demons running all over this enchanted forest, and that just ain't going to work. There will be no way forward. There will be no passage forward with the Two of Clubs coming up in the shadow there. And where do we wind up? Back in conflict, back in drama. Yeah, that's not going to happen. There's no way to work that out. And isn't this interesting? Because originally the Queen of Spades was coming up in the light, and now the Queen of Spades is like, oh, hell no, in the shadow. That's some off with your head energy, all right? No. Look at this. This Queen of Spades is like, I'll do what I got to do to handle business, because this is where I'm heading. I'm heading to the theory of 11, complete alignment, synchronicity, healing, mind, body, spirit, on point, unbothered, hydrated, moisturized, as Mark Reveille would say, all right? Just feeling in the zone. I've waited a long time. I'm ready to celebrate. I'm ready for some celebration, cool in the gang style, man. I want to get down with the people who get down with me. It's 44 on the clock. This is total alignment. This is coming in for this Queen of Spades. Air sign energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. They're not going to suffer any BS. You watch what happens. When you get the Queen of Spades coming up in the shadow, oh, you done pushed too far. And it's because they are defending this. This is their ships coming in. They're not going to have this blocked again. This has been blocked so long. They've been in this place of dealing with this blockage, and they are ready to move forward with the Jack of Clubs coming up in the light. And there is supposed to be movement in this situation. We see it. The movement will come. We got the 8 of Clubs in the light. In the light. Give it 2 more months tops. This thing is moving forward. There's a passionate new beginning. There's a moving forward. It brings healing. It brings celebration. It brings total alignment, synchronicity. This is destiny. All right. This is coming in. And this old cycle of disappointment, heartache, to the 10 of Spades, to the 5 of Hearts, this is done. This is coming to an end because everything is finally in its proper order. This is everything coming into alignment. Now we're cooking. We got something that works, and all the blockage that was done in the past, all this to cause blockage, all this to cause this hold up, this confusion, this juggling energy, all of this is being reversed. Look at this. Blockage to create instability, juggling, confusion. I don't know what to choose. I don't know what I should do. Oh my God, let me just hang out here at the crossroads for all fucking eternity and be like a cat licking my butthole for all eternity while I sit here feeling like I'm a victim and I'm trapped and I'm confused because I've been put under a glamour, and that has me in a space. All of this energy is getting flipped up and reversed. The blockage is coming back around the bend. It's boomeranging. It's boomeranging on whoever's been doing this work. This person is going to find themselves in this state. We got doubles of the energy. We have doubles. This is when it's like a game of Uno. It's getting flipped up and reversed. I'm telling you. 2 of Spades, 2 of Spades. All right. All of this is being undone. There's somebody in this situation who has already figured everything out. They've already traced back the source, where the magic's coming from. They've been unraveling it. They've been unraveling this person's workings. They've been warning. They are a million steps ahead of this individual. This individual does not stand a chance. I'm telling you. And to the 2s, to the 8s, this is done. Just like the Ace of Spades came in twice. This is dead. This is done. This is like a last bit of desperation, clamoring for control, you know, but it's like, sorry, Joker. This might have been really money motivated too. This might have been somebody that was trying to really mess with your money, really trying to mess with your flow. All right. Well, they might be in some trouble now. Shoes on the other foot. All right. They might even have something they need to defend themselves from. Legal action is a possibility. You know, there's some kind of burden that's really heading this person's way, and has everything to do with this funny business. You know, it was real funny to create separation, to cause problems in a love relationship. Look at this, worse for the wear. This is things coming back around, things being rectified. This is last lap energy. This is divinely decreed. A lot of this went down on social media. We see that right here, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, okay? Could be a social element involved, all right? And it had everything to do with blocking a new beginning in love. And somebody did workings around this with the 8 of Diamonds, okay? I'm telling you, they also did workings to block the finances to the 10 of Diamonds. When we're looking at the 10 of Diamonds, we're looking at 2 people coming together. We're looking at 2 people who are both building for themselves, bringing the resources together. Now we're forming a household. Now we're living together. Now we're building together. Now we are successful together. We both eat, okay? It's very much that union energy. 10 of Cups to 10 of Pentacles. Who's the culprit? Dun, dun, dun. Queen of Diamonds in the shadow. Here's the interloper. Earth sign energy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. This is the person that is fucking around and finding out with the 4 of Spades in the shadow. This person's being put in spiritual time out. Why? Because they were trying to disrupt stability. And this is their designs. They want this stability. But in the process, they just threw themselves out of balance to the 2 of diamonds. Everything that they wished upon you is boomeranging on this person. And this person is being restored. Okay, so where they were in the shadow before, I think you're starting to come around in this read. Now you're like, maybe I don't want to take that action. Maybe I should just let the fairy sort it out. I highly recommend this. I highly recommend you restore yourself. Fairy, you know, will come up with a brilliant plan to rectify matters. Let's pull out some arcane bullshit and just get kind of a heads up on what we need to be aware of. I'm going to bring in these portal reports like whenever it just feels necessary. I'm not going to be on any kind of schedule with this. I'm just going to really pay attention to reading the energy, you know, and I was just tapping into certain things last night, and Fairy told me, you know, you need to let people know what's up so they can start to tap into this current too and be aware of what's happening in their neck of the woods, all right? So we're all in different parts of this wood, but we're all interconnected with each other. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready for the impregnation of the new life. I'm ready to birth new beginnings. I'm ready to step into fecundity. I'm ready to be prosperous, to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be joyous. Like, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. I don't want to hang out in the shadows. I'm ready for Yule, man. I am. I'm ready for Yule. You know, I've had enough with the doom and the gloom and the heavy times and like focusing on the shadow, you know? I'm not in my goth phase. You know, I never really was a goth. I mean, I like goth music to a certain extent, but I've always been more of a punk girl. I got turned on to punk at a very young age. I was turned on to punk when I was like 12 years old. You know, my friend Mikey Gilbert and his buddy Ducky turned me on to punk. First with the Dead Kennedys, and then I learned, you know, about so many other bands, 7 Seconds. I mean, I used to go and see Coffee and Donuts play all the time. I'd get in the mosh pit. I'd have a good old time. You know, I loved that music. I loved that it was very real. I loved that, you know, there was a point, you know, to be made, and that that point was going to be heard, you know, however it needed to come across. And it really resonated for me, especially because of just my economic background. I grew up poor, you know, it's like that pretty and pink girl from the wrong side of the tracks, you know, and I grew up in a neighborhood where the kids kind of came from, you know, upper middle class or wealthy families. And so I really related to the messages of punk. You know, I knew what that felt like, you know, I knew what that felt like. Punk really, if you think about it, started as an economic movement, you know, and what it feels like to be suppressed by the system and to want to fight back against that, you know, and have a voice in the system that wants you to be voiceless. So something I could always relate to. And I mean, I like goth, I do, but it's a little too like, oh, what a sweet shade of suffering. And after a while, it's just like, get over yourself, you know? Get over yourself, man. What's wrong with you? Yeah, bottom of the deck energy, the pyramid-headed bird. Get over yourself. Like, digest that crap already. Are you ready to sprout some wings and take it to new heights? Are you ready to gain access to true hidden knowledge? Are you ready to be activated, galactivated? Are you ready to experience a new sense of freedom? Are you ready to be a demigod? You can be whatever you want to be, man, and fairy, and that's the beautiful thing about fairy. So don't get caught up in that stuff, because that's not, you know, that's really not where it's at. And I have to say, like, dark magic like that is like the weakest magic in the world. It is. And it's so funny because there's so much posturing involved in it. It's like, oh, we're big badass, we're dark, we're demonic, we're necromancers. And it's like, oh yeah, whatever, you know, your mom. Yeah, come on into fairy, and then you'll really learn some true magic. The card of cards, 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 card of cards. That's fairy. You think you got it. You think you found your way into fairy. One initiation after the other. I mean, this is fairy. It's just never ending. It's continual initiation. Continual initiation. Just when you think you've seen it all, you're like, oh my God, now I've seen everything. You realize you barely scratched the surface. It is the deepest, richest, wildest path. It is a hall of mirrors, okay? Fairy will show you stuff about yourself that may be difficult to look at, okay? But it's all to help you get free. Let's see what else Fairy wants to tell us. What should we be on the lookout for? So do be looking for opportunities, initiatory gateways to be popping up on your path. You'll be able to recognize them when they come because you'll feel a little bit excited, but also a little bit trepidatious, okay? This is about really being guided by your senses. It's about listening to your heart. Let your heart lead you and you won't go astray. And anytime when you start tapping into that kind of like more dark like energy, or you find yourself starting to move more in the zone of like emo status, you know, that's when you need to really question where you're coming from, because you can trip yourself up in Fairy. Fairy will just lead you down the hall of mirrors, and you know, you'll be shadow boxing yourself. That's how they operate. You know, they'll just put you on timeout. They will. They won't care. I don't know if you've ever been trapped up in Fairy before. I have a couple of times, and it's kind of an intense experience. And I'll bring in some stories. I'll start doing some story hour too. I've had some people asking me to do this. I have a lot of weird anecdotes. And I've had a lot of people ask me to do like story hour. Just tell some of your weird stories, man. Forget about the cards. Although I think it'd still be fun to kind of like bring in a little reading at the end or something, maybe to give a moral to the story. That could be fun. We'll look at bringing that in, some fairy tales. Okay, I got a lot of fairy tales. I actually do. So we might do that. With that, an angel card flipped up. So I think we'll look at this angel card. It wanted to jump in the mix and give its thoughts. And then we also have this that ended up on the floor. Okay, so yeah, I think that this is kind of interesting. I'm curious, what is this? Oh, yes, yes. I love that that came up. Okay, very cool. Should I look at this one too? Uh-huh. Oh, isn't that interesting? Corresponding cards. Yep. Okay. All right, beautiful message. I'm curious to see what this is. Okay, so at the crux of it, this is what we got. We got the orgy, all right? And I did feel this like real intense, like kind of like sensual, seductive energy come in. This has the feel of just like too many people fucking around and then finding out, all right? This is a clusterfuck. This is a mess. There's a lot of connections in this situation. There's a lot of messy connections. It's like a lot of people that have all slept with each other. And there's all these like weird, creepy, energetic attachments and some real low vibe energy. And this needs to be cleared out. This is also people just like, this is when polyamory goes wrong. That's what I'm just gonna call it out. This is when polyamory goes wrong. I can go wrong. I know. Okay, I got introduced to love through polyamory. You know, my first involvement with a guy was my first love. That they always had other people in the mix. It was horrible. I hated it. It's not for me. I don't like it. What people choose to do is up to them. All I know is I always had a bunch of angry, jealous women coming at me, and sometimes things just never change. It's not for me. I don't like it. I don't want that. I'm very old-fashioned, you know. I'm a true fairy tale girl. I just want to have that one special person that's just like, they look at me and they're like, oh, you're just it, man. You're the bee's knees. Like, what more could I want? That's what I'm looking for, because that's what I give, you know. I'm a little bit like Princess Buttercup right now. It's like, no, as I wish, motherfucker, you know. I've kind of dealt with subpar for a while. I kind of dealt with, you know, making myself fit into other people's storylines. And now it's like, no, the queen has rebelled, because I'm not a princess, okay? The queen, the empress has rebelled and is wanting something a little bit more, okay? So this is like detangling all this. This is a lot of energetic attachment. I think there's work that needs to be done around this. I think the work that needs to be done around this is alchemy work. We got the Hermit coming up here. Hermit is coming up with the Two of Wands. Before there can be this safe passage forward to destiny, there needs to be a clearing out of this energy and bringing it to a closure with the world. Perhaps closing things with a fixed sign. That would be Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, or Leo, okay? These could be the characters involved. Too much control going on in these situations. Once you do this, then you're free to have some fun and you can become master of the hunt. Could be Sagittarius energy, front and center. Until next time.